Hello, today I'll be talking about my top 5 albums of 2023, and my top 5 will be in no particular order. But before I dive into my top 5, let's go ahead and talk about some honorable mentions. Starting off with 72 Seasons by Metallica. Fairly basic pick, for sure, but still, I think this album is pretty solid, actually. I think I might like it more. I still would say that I think I might like it more than Hardwired, which Hardwired is still a solid album. I mean, some really good songs on there like the Title Track, Spit Out the Bone, Dream No More, and some others. But I think I might like this album a tad more, actually. You have some really good songs like the Title Track, 72 Seasons, which is a contender for maybe being my favorite song on the album. Really love that song, actually. Lux Eterna is also solid. I do enjoy the album closer, Inamorata, which, sure, on the more lengthy side, but I personally really dig that song a lot. One of the more different sounding songs on the album. Shadows Follow is another favorite of mine on the album. But yeah, at the end of the day, the album does kind of feel like more of the same. Definitely has a lot of similarities to Hardwired, and there are even some riffs on here that definitely reminds me of stuff from some of their early songs, like Too Far Gone, for example, has some riffs that kind of remind me of No Remorse a little bit. And then you have You Must Burn, which the verses especially really remind me of Sad But True. But still, with all that said, Unearth is a solid album for Metallica. Not some of the band's best work, but still, again, a solid album for them. Next, we're moving to Forgone by In Flames. The reason this didn't crack my top 5 really comes down to replay value. I just found myself returning to other 2023 albums more than this one, but still, I think this album is still fairly good. I think it's their best since probably either Come Clarity or Sense of Purpose, but the album does have some skips for me. Not really any songs that I would say are straight up bad by any means. I personally wouldn't really go that far with really any of the songs on here, but again, if I were to straight up go ahead and listen to the album from front to back, there would definitely be some songs that I would skip, though, especially towards the end. A Dialogue in B flat minor, Sinister, and End the Transmission have always been some of my least favorites on the album. Okay songs, but there are songs on the album that I personally enjoy more, like Forgone Part 1, which is maybe my favorite on the album. I really dig that song. But The Great Deceiver is also really good too. But Stay Slow to Gay is also pretty good. Definitely reminds me of Blinded by Fear by At the Gates. But yeah, In the Dark is also really good too. Definitely comes closer to their more recent work rather than their classic work, but still, In the Dark, definitely another favorite of mine on the album. I remember some people calling this a return to form, which I personally really disagree with. I mean, I remember seeing an interviewer mention this to Anders about this being a return to form, and even Anders has said himself that he disagrees that this is a straight up return to form. I remember seeing that in an interview, but anyways, I would say that this is probably the closest to return to form compared to some of their more recent work, but still, with that said, a straight up return to form, I'm gonna have to disagree with that, but still, pretty solid album from In Flames. Moving on, we'll be going to Spirit Box, The Fear of Fear, and this is of course an EP, so this of course wouldn't qualify for my list anyways since it's not an album, but this is a release that I did want to mention because I feel like this is easily one of the best releases of the year, I'd say, especially for me. I mean, all around a really strong EP, and honestly a reminder that Spirit Box really doesn't miss. I mean, I've yet to hear a bad song from these guys, but yeah, so many great songs. I mean, Jaded, which of course got nominated, and definitely really awesome news. Too Close, Too Late, it's another favorite of mine. I also really enjoy Ultraviolet, one of the lighter songs on the album, but I do enjoy that one. Of course, you do have some bangers like Angel Eyes and Cellar Door. I especially really enjoy Cellar Door. But yeah, Fear of Fear, definitely a really great EP. If you haven't heard it, definitely check it out. And the final honorable mention here, we got Unearth with The Wretched, the Ruinous. And out of all my honorable mentions, this would be the one album that would definitely have the potential of maybe swapping with one of my top 5s here, but this is where it lands for now. But all around, really great album from Unearth. For me, their best since the March, actually. I mean, some of my favorites on here, The Wretched, the Ruinous, Cremation of the Living, which is maybe a contender for being my favorite song on here. I definitely dig the heaviness of Eradicator. Call of Existence is another favorite of mine. Same with Broken Arrow, which There's a song that seems to be not talked about as much as some of the other songs on the album, but I do enjoy Broken Arrow though. But again, all around, a really strong album from Unearth, I'd say. And if you like metalcore, and you haven't heard that album, definitely check it out. Really good stuff. Now let's go ahead and move on to my top 5, starting off with Obituary, Dying of Everything. And yeah, this is, to me, probably the best since Frozen in Time. And of course, I did enjoy the self-titled, but I think I like this album a bit more. Some of my favorites on here: The Wrong Time, Without a Conscience, which is one of the more mid-tempo songs on here. I really dig that song. Title track's also really good. I really like By the Dawn. I really dig the heaviness of that song especially. Weaponize the Hate's another favorite of mine. I do like the doominess that you get in Be Warned, one of the more different sounding songs on the album, but all around, really great Obituary album, I'd say. Now we're moving to an album that for me was definitely a pleasant surprise, and that is Prong with State of Emergency. Again, if you haven't heard this album, definitely check it out. Really great stuff, especially if you like 90s metal or groove metal, anything like that. Definitely give this album a listen. But some of my favorites on here, the opening track, The Descent. I really dig the heaviness of that song. Breaking Point, which was the first single, another highlight on the album. It's cool to see them go more into New York hardcore with Light Turns Black. I like the New York hardcore influence in that song. Same with the song Back, NYC. Obeisance is definitely another favorite of mine on the album. That song to me shows that Tommy Victor has a really great ear for riffs. I do enjoy their cover of Working Man, originally by Rush. Rush is one of my personal favorite bands, and overall I'm definitely impressed with Prong's cover of Working Man, but all around, really great album. To me, they're best since Cleansing. I mean, of course, I do like Rude Awakening and Carved into Stone and some others, but again, for me, it has to be their best since Cleansing. Really strong album from Prong. Now let's go ahead and move on to Sevendust with Truth Killer. And my copy comes with a signed card. Definitely really cool. But yeah, sure, you can make the argument that this album is kind of more the same a little bit, or more of what to expect from them, especially with what they've been doing for the past 10 years or so. But still, I actually really dug this album, actually. And there are some songs in here that I still enjoy, actually. I do think it is a step up from Blood and Stone, which I like Blood and Stone, but for me, not as good as this one or even All I See Is War. But still, again, not a bad album. Still solid, though. But Truth Killer, for me, actually a really good album, even if it's kind of feels like more of what to expect from their more recent work. But I do enjoy the title track, Won't Stop the Bleeding, and definitely probably a top 3 song on the album for me. I definitely enjoy LeJean's vocals in that song especially. No Revolution, another favorite of mine on the album. Holy Water is maybe my favorite of the singles. Fence is definitely a solid banger and definitely another highlight on the album. Superficial Drug is also pretty cool. But yeah, all around, really great album from Sevendust, I'd say. Sure, the album's maybe not breaking a whole lot of new ground or bringing much new to the table for the band, but still, another really solid album for Sevendust, I'd say. But now for these last 2 picks, we'll be moving into the world of rap, which I'm sure some of my viewers would probably roll their eyes at, but for me, it's nice to have multiple genres to listen to instead of just only listening to rock and metal all the time. It's nice to have another genre or having some other artists to listen to if you're not in the mood for rock or metal. But anyways, my next pick is Nas with Magic 3. When it comes to the Magic series, the first one's probably my favorite, but this would be my second favorite probably. I do enjoy Magic 2. I do enjoy Magic 2. I do like that one, but not quite as much as the first one or this one. But Magic 3, definitely really impressed with this album when it came out, and there are some songs on here that I still enjoy, like Fever, Never Die featuring Lil Wayne. Really like that song a lot. I do enjoy Based on True Events parts 1 and 2. Especially the beats in both of those songs. 1-800 Nas and Hit, another highlight for me on the album. Speechless Part 2 is also really good. I do enjoy the first one from Magic 1, and I think Part 2 is definitely a solid sequel to that song. No Tears is definitely another favorite of mine, especially the beats in that song. But yeah, Nas and Hit Boy further proving that they're a great duo with this album, and I think they had a great run together with the King Disease series and the Magic series. I probably like the Magic series more than the King Disease series, which might be unpopular to say. Who knows? I'm not sure, but I do like King Disease though. But Magic 3, when it comes to the Nas and Hit Boy albums, is definitely one of my favorites that they've done. But yeah, Magic 3, definitely a really great album. Definitely had to crack my top 5. And now for the final album for this video, we have Utopia by Travis Scott. So of course, for those who might not know, the album had multiple album covers, and this is album cover number 5, if I remember correctly. But yeah, this was definitely going to crack my top 5. I knew it would, especially since my first listen. I knew it would definitely be one of my favorites of the year. For me, definitely a really strong follow-up to Astroworld, which was the album that won me over into Travis Scott. And yeah, Hyena is definitely one of my favorites. Same with Modern Jam. My Eyes is also really good, one of the more melodic songs on the album. Fiend with Playboi Carti, another favorite of mine, even though I'm not really a big fan of Playboi Carti, to be honest. But I don't mind him in the song. But when it comes to the features on the album, his feature is definitely one of my least favorites. But still, I don't mind him in the song though. Some people seem to not like Del Resto, but I personally really dig that song actually. Of course, featuring Beyonce. I do like Lost Forever. That's another favorite of mine on the album. K-pop actually has grown on me a little bit. Of course, not the best song on the album by any means, hell no, but still a solid song, I'd say. Telekinesis is also pretty cool. I do like SZA's feature in that song especially. But yeah, all around, really great album. And I do, of course, also like 21 Savage on the album too, especially Utopia Twins. But yeah, definitely one of my favorites of the year by far. So yeah, that is my top 5 of 2023. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on my top 5. Let me know your top 5 in the comment section below. And let me know if some of my top 5 is in your top 5 and all that good stuff. But anyways, thanks for watching. Please leave a comment and a like. Subscribe. Have a nice day and take care.